noon.
Right.
Or whatever time he thinks is suitable for the rest of the world to have a drink.
Exactly. He didn't land on the beer. The beer landed on him.
Assalamu alaikum.
That's right. In other words, the beer was out there to be bought.
Hey, it's Alan Tudyk. I just wanted to reach out and welcome you along with the Duke of Wesselton. I would like to say, welcome to Magic Our Way, I suppose, with Kevin and Danny, Eli, and now with Rachel. Not a big welcomer, but okay, a welcome. And then also K2SO. And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is the show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, we introduce a new show series we are calling Am I the Bad Guy?
Mm-hmm.
And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the parks every day letting you know that the single rider line has returned to Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and tell you who the bad guy is. But just because you might be a bad guy doesn't mean you ain't good at it.
That's right. And you listeners have the easy part. All you guys have to do is to listen up to what we think of while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And Rachel is sick, poor thing.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't make the recording today. She's not feeling well.
Yeah, abandon ship now, guys. It's only going to get worse from here.
Exactly, yes. Especially when all the winter stuff starts blowing in.
I'm just talking about the show. It's going to go to hell without Rachel.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You bad guy, you.
Yes,
She's our moral center.
Yes, she is. She keeps us in line.
Yes, well, feel better, buddy.
Yes.
That's right. And look, the easiest way to support us, the book a vacation with Rachel, and that'll help her get through her sickness.
Yes.
That will help her.
You
Yes.
can save a life.
This is Grey's
30
Anatomy.
cents a day
All of a sudden.
or $30 a day on your vacation.
If you, but like Rachel is really not feeling, but if you book with Rachel, every booking makes Rachel 5% better.
It raises that meter.
It
That's
makes her
right.
smile. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
She has to smile. She
Sure.
should smile.
Fill out her meter. It's going to be awesome. Make her
Nothing
100%.
better to help you get over the stomach bug than working.
Money does it.
Knowing that she will help you helps her.
And look, also, if you want to support us, you can also leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. Be sure to like and subscribe as well as turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters for all that they do for us.
Love you.
All right, y'all. So enough of our jibber jabber. Let's answer the question. Am I the bad guy? Welcome to the Hub, our main topic segment of our show. And as I mentioned in the intro, we present a new show series, which we call Am I the Bad Guy? Which, as you might tell, is similar in nature to the various posts on the internet labeled AITA, which means Am I the Asshole?
Huh.
We have Quest for the Best, which you heard last week. We have This or That, the Bad Behavior Shows, 5 questions or 5 minutes, depending what the topic is, Theming Wars, Magical Musings, and now Am I the Bad Guy? Series of shows. However, since this is a Disney fan podcast, we are concentrating on Disney stories and posts that ask AITA, or in our case, AITBD,
Okay.
not to be determined, but the bad guy.
The bad guy.
In this case, yes. To begin this series, we answer queries posed by people on the internet.
Yes.
Of course, we in the future will have other versions of the show where we talk about weekend stories, so the weekends have a chance to present theirs, have our own stories. I know I have some stories we can tell, and I'm curious to see what you think if I'm the bad guy. But for this one, weekends, I present to you, Am I the Bad Guy? The Internet Stories, to kick us off. And I know Danny came up with this particular idea as a series of shows because of a People magazine article that you found, right?
Yeah, it was on the internet. It was somebody took a screenshot of something a lady wrote, a soon-to-be bride, on a bridal forum and posted this on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And it got some traction, and I saw it, and I thought it was interesting. And I'll read what you wrote. Need some advice. I planned a trip to Disney World for my bachelorette party and let everyone know in advance what the costs would look like. None of my 7 bridesmaids are coming, and I feel super disappointed because this is the one time I'm getting married and doing this. I like how she thinks that. I understand the state of the world we're in financially, but it feels like none of them pull through to support me with this. Am I wrong for feeling upset? And when I read that, it made me think of those Reddit posts about, am I the asshole, as you put it?
Yes.
So I thought, well, wow, wouldn't it be fun to do a Disney version of this, find some Disney stories? And this obviously being the one that made me think of it, is like, well, let's kick it off with this.
Yeah, that's fine. And there are a ton.
Yeah.
Once you start searching for these things, there's a bunch of them. So,
Oh, yeah.
This will be like those other series of shows. We're going to explore this one of whether or not this bride is the bad guy or not.
Now, this is what we're limited to as far as information goes, as best as I can tell. There's no information as to the proximity that they are to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to just go with the information we have here. And what are y'all thoughts? Is she the bad guy here?
God, there's so much missing information. It's hard to make a determination initially. Because it's like, I'd be curious to know if any of the bridesmaids told her why. Yes, she understands the financial situation. So if that's the case, and that's all she's got to go with, she can assume that, maybe my bridesmaids can't afford this. Maybe I should think of a different bachelorette thing to do.
I gotta imagine they told her why. I don't think he's like, hey, are you coming? Like, no, I'm not. And then left it at that.
Yeah.
They had to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't afford it right now. It's not a good time. This is happening. That's happening. But again, she doesn't provide any of that.
She doesn't. Yeah.
She just makes it
covering
sound.
it. Yeah.
And by that alone is where I'm saying, yeah, she's the bad guy here.
Yes, you are the
Yeah.
bad guy for not giving us all the entire picture.
Right. Because
Boo.
I'm sure at least a couple of the 7 bridesmaids, sleepy, dopey, grumpy, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them had a legit excuse as to why.
Yeah.
Well, not even that. I'm sure they're close friends, so they would have told her why they couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that sounds like what they call it, a bridezilla move.
Mhm.
Like, hey,
Yes.
it's my wedding. Do what I say. Like, look, hey. Money don't fall out the sky for everybody.
Yeah, just because you're getting married doesn't make everybody $10,000 richer.
Right.
I mean,
Now, we happy for you.
oh, 100%.
But we can't afford the happiness that you want us
I
to
can't
have.
support you
I
having
can't support your happiness.
Just like if you want to have a cocaine bachelor party, I can't support you having
Oh, boy, but wouldn't you want to watch that?
I mean, if your bridesmaids work at TCBY and
Burger King, Taco
Starbucks,
Bell.
yeah, I think this is a little bit ludicrous. Now, if they're married to Fortune 500
Yeah.
CEOs, yeah, then they're the bad people. But
Right.
you didn't give us that. You didn't give us any of the information pertaining to that. You
So
just
by that note, she is the bad guy for not giving us all
She's
the
the bad
entire
guy.
picture.
Yes, I agree.
Because if her
She's
friends
right.
were all 5 Fortune 500 people, then maybe not your friends.
and I gotta imagine if she lived in Orlando, that would have been brought up in the post, right? Like we all live here in Orlando. It's just all we gotta do is drive over there, rent a room, pay for the park tickets. Park tickets for 2 or 3 days and a hotel room is expensive enough as it is.
Right.
And that's pushing it a lot.
But if you book with Rachel, she can help you out.
Boom.
Even if you're a local.
Yeah.
But adding transportation to that almost makes it a
Yes.
stop right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt that is a very expensive bachelor anything. Bachelor, bachelor, whatever.
And not only that, not only you have to pay for yourself to get over there, everyone's got to chip in for her, right?
Yeah.
That's how these things work. So she doesn't pay anything.
Buy her drinks, buy her whatever,
Right.
food,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
I mean, this isn't your wedding. This is your bridal party.
Yeah.
Right. You can make your wedding whatever you want it to be, I suppose, within reason, but you still have to be kind to the guests that are coming.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
So-
So verdict in.
Verdict in. Yeah, she is the bad guy for not giving us enough information.
Thumbs down.
Everybody say hello to the bad guy.
That's great. That's genius. I like
That's
that.
good. It's good. All right, so I got a story I'd like to present to you because this is something I feel strongly, and not because I'm from New Orleans.
Oh,
but I feel like this is a story that I found on Reddit, of course, and this is labeled AITA for our purposes. Am I the bad guy? And it's titled, "Is it weird / sketchy to drink at Disneyland at 10:45 a.m.?" Okay, and so this is how the post goes.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, because I know we have thoughts.
what is he drinking? Yeah, I need to know.
I don't know. Let's see.
Inquiring minds want to know.
And he says, "I just grabbed a beer at the Karl Strauss stand in San Francisco and promptly received a nasty comment from another guest. Am I the bad guy for drinking so early in the day?" he asked. To be completely honest, it hadn't struck me as weird, but in hindsight, maybe it's a little weird. This place is for kids / families after all, and my wife and I are here enjoying a 10:45 a.m. beverage, child-free. Having said all that, Disney happily took my $17.
There you go.
Yes, they did.
Disney will happily take any money you want to give them.
It doesn't matter what time of day.
Bad guy or not,
That's
your
right.
cash is king.
So we ask, what do you all think? Is he the bad guy?
I think the person that judged him is the bad guy.
I would
agree.
agree on that. I mean, who are you to judge?
Yeah.
As Jimmy Buffett, rest in peace, says, it's 5:00 somewhere. But whoever came up with these rules is like, it's too early to drink. I want to know what your reasoning for that, because I think that's a load of bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's like I don't quite understand that. And yes, to disclose, we are from New Orleans. I have strong feelings about this because it doesn't matter when you have a freaking drink.
No.
I mean, liquor is liquor. It doesn't really do anything. If you're living in whatever prohibition ages, then so be it. Whatever. Well, you're going to think what you're going to think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care what you drink when you drink it. Why are you a bad guy for doing that?
Why do you care what I'm drinking?
Exactly.
Right.
Why do you care so much? What does it matter to you?
The mimosa was invented for a reason.
That's what I was
Or
saying.
the milk punch or the Bloody Mary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Espresso martini. All of those are considered. Now, okay, beer, maybe not so much in that grouping, but 10:45. I mean, the park's open at what, 8 a.m.?
Hey, I got to think in Germany, they're having beer. It's beer is basically a meal in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking beer because there's so many calories. So if you're going to drink beer early that morning, good for you, because you're going to burn that shit off
Right.
when you're walking through the parks.
Maybe that guy had a wheat deficit problem that day.
A
he
wheat
needed
deficit.
He needed a beer.
Beer with his Wheaties.
Yeah. This the drink of champions.
But if the park opens at 8 a.m., he probably got up at 6 a.m., so he's probably out and about for about 5 or 6 hours. I mean, breakfast is long over. This is like lunchtime.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a beer at lunch.
No.
8 a.m. if you had a beer, I'm not going to judge, but boy, that's heavy.
It is.
Give me a milk punch, give me a Bloody Mary, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I was in England. It didn't really matter. I had my English breakfast with a beer, room temperature beer. Temperature them is cold. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I don't understand these rules, and maybe the Mohicans in other parts of the states or the country can explain it to me. Because as an Orleanian, that's very foreign to me.
Well, it's simple, right? He's on vacation. If he was
Childless vacation.
yes,
him and his wife.
I was getting to
Childless,
that.
yes.
He doesn't have any children.
Yes.
So he's not responsible for anyone's safety. So if that man wants to have a beer on the vacation that he paid for, he ain't a bad guy to me.
Nope.
Sounds like he's a natural guy.
You're like, I'd buy you a drink, whoever you are.
Probably figured like, hey, there's no line right here. Let me get this beer in while I can. That's a smart guy, you ask me.
Yeah, I don't think he's the bad guy.
No.
I don't think he's a bad guy at all.
No.
I think there's no issues with that. I'd be curious to know if there is an issue with it, why there's an issue with it.
And
Exactly.
Disney took his money. This is their environment.
Yeah.
If they wanted to, they could say, hey, sir, this is too early for you to have this beer. But they did. They said $17.50, please.
Oh, better yet, if this person had such an issue with it, why not get your ass over to guest relations and complain about them selling alcohol in the park before noon?
Right.
Or whatever time he thinks is suitable for the rest of the world to have a drink.
Exactly. He didn't land on the beer. The beer landed on him.
Assalamu alaikum.
That's right. In other words, the beer was out there to be bought.
You know what? Next time we go out to Disneyland, I'm going to have a beer in honor of this dude in San Francisco.
At 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. Actually, 8 o'clock for when they open, all the way to 10:45, just because.
Yeah,
So be it.
I'll work my way through it. But yeah,
And I'll eat all the food and all the corn dogs, and I'll be just fine.
there you go.
So, verdict said, we all agree he's not the bad
Not
guy,
the bad
right?
guy.
He
Yes.
is, no.
No.
In fact, I'm playing this clip because much love, brother.
Hey, I'm not the bad guy. I love you.
I love you for having that beer at 10:45.
I do
morning.
too.
I have no issues with that. If you were in Rachel's time zone, it would have been like 1 or 2 o'clock or something like that.
Very
I
nice,
can't
sir.
calculate
Yes.
right now.
You're
It's all good.
absolutely right.
Yes.
I also heard that this guy was running around shaming people for having pizza for breakfast.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, serving chilled red wine as opposed to being room temperature like it should be. I mean, this guy has been all over making sure
Wow.
that thing.
He is the drinking police.
Yeah, I was gonna
They-
say he's the comment police.
the appropriate police.
I better not run into this person on my vacation.
No
I mean, like,
burritos
unless-
at 5 a.m.
Right?
Don't wear white after Labor Day when this guy's
That's right. Yeah, forget those huevos rancheros.
Holy crap.
Yes. All right, so we got another one.
All right.
And this one's titled, Am I the Bad Guy for Making a Set List of Rules for a Disney Trip?
So this is the guy that checked the other guy, basically.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, it
gonna
probably
say,
is, yeah.
sounds
So
like-
that was rule number one.
Mm.
No drinking before 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Rule number 2.
Don't feed
look
him
at
after
rule number
midnight.
1.
Rule number 3, no canned defense.
Yes. Yeah. Rule number 4.
Don't get him wet.
Yeah.
This is one.
All right, sorry.
Am I
Yeah.
the bad guy for
I
making
like
a
that,
set list
though.
of rules for a Disney trip?
Okay.
And it says, hello, throwaway account since my sisters use Reddit. So you can find this pretty easily just by me saying that.
Oh.
Every single year, me and my 2 sisters take a girls' trip to a random location. This year was finally my turn to plan a trip, so I decided to book a trip to Disney World for 10 days. Good for you.
Yeah, happy times.
Yes. Yeah, it's good sister bonding time. My sisters and I were very excited about this trip, and so was I. But the booking process took a while, plus it was very costly.
Mm.
Well, we are leaving in a week, and I have created a set of rules for the trip. For example, no sleeping in past 8 a.m. In parentheses, rope dropping. Wear sneakers only, in parentheses, due to a lot of walking, etc. So those are example of rules she was presenting.
Mm-hmm.
Not suggestions.
Those are rules.
Not tips.
She
These are
specifically
rules.
said rules in this note. And she goes on. I sent my sisters this list today so that they could know what to expect. They didn't take it too well and said that I was being very over dramatic and that this wasn't needed. I told them that this was definitely needed to get the best experience out of Disney World. We got into an argument over it, and now they are saying they no longer want to go on the trip.
Oh.
I thought that making this list of rules would make things easier for everyone and make it more of an enjoyable time, but maybe I was being a bit dramatic. Am I the bad guy? She asked.
I don't know
That's
about
it.
being a bad guy, but she's a bad girl.
And a bad
Absolutely.
sister.
Yeah. When you have a vacation, because I have an aunt that's in this kind of stuff. It's like, so a vacation.
Rule making on vacation?
Like no, but a vacation club. Like, you get your girls together and like you said,
Oh,
each one
okay,
picks
gotcha,
a
yes.
thing. But you're supposed to just go out with your friends and have a good time.
Yeah.
Anyone will tell you go on a vacation. The instant someone starts to put rules in it, it's like, okay, well, now this is not a vacation. This is now a job because there's guidelines set to it.
Right.
So yeah, I would say, yeah, she's definitely the bad guy. Once she said, here are the rules, and then she tried to like enforce them, that's what put it over the top.
Yeah, once she said no sleeping past 8 a.m., I'm like,
Oh yeah, that would not be happening. This man will tell you right now, if he was like, hey, look, you got to get up at 8 in the morning, like, for what? For what? It's vacation, isn't it? What? Huh?
I know enough not to do that.
yes.
Yeah.
Normally on vacation, it's like I usually wake up at like 7, 8 a.m., like 9 a.m., depending on what the night before takes place. But if we're like, hey, we're going to try to actually make this ride and get on it, it's like, all right, I'm all for it for
Yeah.
that one day. But don't tell me that we're going to get up at 8 a.m. every freaking day on a freaking vacation.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yes.
It's like, some days we're going to sleep in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't back out on a trip, though. But I'd be like, you know what? You go ahead. I'll meet you in the park.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so if the sister is paying for everybody else to go, then maybe she has a right to go ahead and set parameters. Like, look, I'll pay for y'all to go. If y'all want to follow my rules, pay your own way, do your own thing. But if I'm paying, but this does not seem to be the case here. That's
It
the
doesn't
only
say, yeah.
caveat I would give this woman for expecting that grown adults are just
Yeah.
going to go ahead and follow your whims. I mean, a vacation should be like a dinner at the Outback, no rules, just right.
Yeah.
If
I like
you
that.
want to have fun, rules really
Rules be damned.
kind of get in the way of that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Wee bit.
I like that. Yeah, if you're paying for my trip, I'll be the little spoon.
Yeah. Yes.
You can be the big spoon. I don't
Mhm.
care.
But other than that, no, you're just a bad guy.
He's just a bad guy. I agree. I put that just a bad guy. Eli?
Yeah, definitely a bad
Just
guy.
a bad guy.
You really are a bad guy.
Oh, ouch.
Damn.
That was hard. Ooh.
Ouch.
Penelope, that's so heartbreaking.
Damn.
But yet appropriate.
Yes,
Yeah,
a little
absolutely.
bit. I hope she calls up her sisters, apologizes, and fixes this whole thing.
Yeah, because that's going to break up the vacation club.
And probably the family.
A little bit. Yeah. It don't take much. It's growing pains. Don't take much.
Can you imagine playing White Elephant at Christmas with her?
I got rules. Yeah, 7 a.m. to do this.
No, that was stolen twice.
Oh, my goodness.
Opens a box. I'm not going to Disney.
Who wants to trade? Yes.
All right. So next story,
Mm.
and this one, I'm curious about this too because I do have a story, but we'll save that for another show. And this one's titled, Am I the Bad Guy for Going Around People in a Pre-Show Room to Be Closer to the Door? And so this article says this. I got to know because I do this often because some people seem fine with it, but I've also run into a few dirty looks. I often go to the parks by myself. I actually now work back there. Great. I despise cutting at most capacities. However, there has always been one exception in my book. And it's probably because I do it myself all the time. If you are part of a huge family and the cast member says take up all available space, and we are in an area that is not an actual line, in parentheses, think pre-show areas, the library and Tower of Terror, showroom and dinosaur, and the stretching room and Haunted Mansion, just to name a few. As a single rider, I will walk around you if there's an opening to be closer to the door when it opens. Now, I'm not pushing people over. That's so rude. But if it's a giant space that's easily reachable and wide enough for me to comfortably fit, I'm not forcing myself in between people either. I think it's reasonable. If I'm in the park with my friends or my family, I don't mind if other single riders do the same. I think it's only fair considering they're one person and we clearly weren't taking that space. But I want to know what other people think. I'm not jumping around people in the actual lines, but just think non-line areas are free game. Are they the bad guy?
That was a lot to digest for some reason.
Well, he had a lot of details in there.
Yeah.
It's essentially a thing about how people interpret it when the cast members say, fill in all available space.
But it's more than just that. It's also knowing where that door is going to be. Like most people are so caught up into the story, especially when you're a first-time visitor. If you walk into the Haunted Mansion stretching room and you've been there a few times over, you know where that door is to go ahead and
you look for the little red light. Yeah,
exactly. It's pretty easy to find, but most visitors aren't looking for that because they're caught up in the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I've seen people like this do this before, and it is distracting because as you're sitting there taking in the show, you can see somebody out of the corner of your eye shimmying their way around the wall and like, what is this dude doing? And knowing what I know, it's like, oh, this dude's trying to position himself already to get on the ride before the show's over. And by doing that, you're kind of taking away from the show because you're signaling to other guests that you're up to something.
But if you're doing that before the pre-show starts,
that's a good point.
You know, if you're a family just standing there, just in the middle of the middle of whatever, and just like you're leaving this big open space in front of you, and the thing hasn't started yet because everybody's still coming in, I think that's fair game.
Well, but it depends. So if let's say he's last in line, and there are people who are first in line, but they don't know that they're standing by the door.
Right.
And this dude is weaseling his way around the people and making his way towards that door. And all of a sudden he's taking a spot that he hasn't earned because if everyone knew, I think that's what you got to go by in these scenarios. If everyone did it, would it be fine? And the answer is no, because you'd have everyone piling up by that door. So I think that's how you got to judge this is if everyone knew and everyone tried to do exactly what this guy did, would it be okay?
Yes.
You would say yes.
I would say yes because when they say fill in all available space, that's it. If said space is already filled, then I can't fill it. So then I'm stuck where I'm stuck.
Yeah, but if what I'm listening to what Danny's saying is what the guy you're talking about is saying, then yeah, he's cheating.
Yes.
Because
But there's no line.
Okay, but they're like, everybody go
But
in.
there is. He's whittling his way around it because people don't realize I need to be standing close to this.
Right.
He has knowledge that a lot of other people don't have, and he's using that to his advantage.
Which happens a lot. Yeah.
Well, it does, yes.
Yes, and but that doesn't make it right. It would be, okay,
Right.
It would make sense if, let's say, this guy had a family, which I know he's saying he's going alone.
Yeah, he's going alone, yeah.
I understand that. But let's say it was a group of people he was going with. He had his own vacation club, right? So they're like, hey, we're going to meet you at Haunted Mansion. So the guy's like, hey, I'm going to get a turkey leg. I want to know if it's the original recipe or not. Now he's late. He goes ahead and he's like, oh, my people are over there. Well, he shimmies through people to get by his group. Okay, that makes sense. Doesn't make him the bad guy. He had to do something. His people had a spot for him because it happens every time, right?
Sure, yeah.
People cut through the line because, you know, the dad, the baby's up there in the front, like, oh, yeah, go ahead, buy your baby.
Well, that's better than the reverse where they call their Hail Mary
But this,
pass,
but this guy, if I'm understanding this right, this guy is just like, all right, I'm going to go in, but I know how everything works, so I'm going to cut and deny somebody their first experience of having to enjoy this ride first because, you know, hell, I'm by myself.
About being amazed because, oh, wow, the entrance is right behind me. And somehow, in the time that it took, this guy wedged himself between you and the door and was poised and ready to strike.
That's creepy.
To me, it would be like if you knew how to rig it to where you're always the person selected to be the person in Indiana Jones or something. Like, he's got some knowledge that he's using to his advantage, and it should be a random kind of thing. Like, oh, everyone, it just, oh, there's the door right over there. And he's just saying, nah, f*** all that. I'm not worried about this show element thing. I just want the quickest access to the ride because this isn't a show to me. This is get in, get out.
Right. Oh, he's trying to prove something to the other people in his own head. Like, haha, I knew this, you didn't.
I'm not, that's not even to say he's a bad guy. He's just
a take advantage guy.
Yeah, he's being a little selfish. I'm not gonna say bad guy, but he's being a little selfish.
I mean, just a little bad guy. Selfish does not.
Is it selfish if they don't know what they're being taken advantage of?
Yeah.
Is it really?
That's like an insurance scam or a pyramid scheme. Just because the person doesn't know how it works, that doesn't mean taking advantage of their lack of knowledge makes it right.
Right. I'm with Eli on this one.
I'm not. I completely disagree.
Wait, what I just said? Or
no,
just
saying the fact of what this guy's saying. It's like, you know, if a cast member says fill in all available space, you fill in every available space. If said family does not fill in available space and they leave this big ass gap, who am I to not be able to take that space? Well, especially if there's other people coming in.
They say fill all available space in when you go into PhilharMagic or Muppets 3D. But some people just stop in the middle and say, nope, I want the middle seat so I can see the best view of the show. Is that cool?
No, that is not cool.
Okay. Well, what's the difference?
He's manipulating a system that he understands that nobody else does because they haven't been to the
No, but the difference is
enough.
that person, even though they said that took the center of this the theater, even though the cast member says fill in all available space, they chose to disregard that and choose where they want to sit. That's selfish.
Yeah, but he's not filling in all available space.
Right.
He's going for one space.
Right. He's taking advantage of the system. Yeah. The cast member is just like, everybody fill in so we can have.
So the difference is whether or not the people getting taken advantage of know they're getting taken advantage of or not.
Because they even say in the Haunted Mansion, move into the dead center of the room.
Yeah, but then you got the one jerk that just sits next to the red light.
Exactly.
Which is whatever.
But that's this guy.
Yeah.
And you just called him a jerk.
Right. If this guy arranged to go by the red light, because he knew there was a red light, and that's how it opens. But I just have been there for the first time, and I'm like, ooh, wow, there's all this creepy stuff.
And I need to move to the center of the room, so I'm moving away from the door with the red light and listening to the cast member while this dude is positioning himself to get right into that door.
So how does that ruin your experience, though?
He's even defying the cast member.
I'm not saying it ruins your experience, but it's
why would else would that affect your experience if you're not ruining it?
Because if you're the person who accidentally, in this case of this Haunted Mansion thing, is by the red light, right? You're just like, oh, I just filled in the spot, like the cast member.
So I don't get the opportunity to be accidentally next to the red light?
But it's your first experience. You have no clue how it works.
That's
right.
bullshit.
Oh my
That's
God.
true. That's true.
No, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard of.
That's true.
Are you mad if Kevin?
Y'all are blowing this. This is ridiculous.
Wait.
No.
What about this?
Wait.
I disagree with that.
Are you mad if you're not the guy who gets chosen to hold up the dollar that the bird comes in?
No, I don't care less.
Okay, you don't care, and you're like, okay, this guy got picked, and he's the guy, and good for him. Just like the Year of the Million Dreams. If you weren't the guy that got picked for the castle suite or something like that, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, it's a lottery system. Everyone has an equal chance. But if someone has inside information, you find out, no, that dude knew exactly what seat to sit in to be picked, to have the dollar picked out of his hands, or to get the castle suite. He knew what park to be in on what day. You'd be like, wait a minute, that's messed up.
Yeah,
but how would I know that?
You wouldn't,
but
that's what makes the guy the bad guy.
In this
I don't
scenario,
think he's a bad guy. I really don't think he's a bad guy.
Let's pull this.
Look, we can go around and around this, but you're not going to convince me this guy's a bad guy.
Okay, if there was, just let me throw this last.
Because I have a story of when I had to deal with this. I was like, the cast members said fill in all available space, so I am, and somebody fussed at me because all the other motherfuckers are just standing in line. I'm like, if we're in this area, we're all getting in. There's no reason for you to fuss at me for just listening to what the cast members said.
But this guy doesn't listen to what the cast members said. He takes advantage and maneuvers around. While the cast member says everybody go in, this guy's
the cast members said fill in all available space.
But they also say move to the dead center of the room.
Oh, you're talking about Haunted Mansion, but no, we're talking about something else. It doesn't really matter.
But he mentioned Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, he mentioned it as one of the examples of this is not particularly Haunted Mansion. So you can't just initially for that. He mentioned Tower of Terror. He mentioned like the stretching rooms and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, but the stretching room was mentioned on that, and I'm just more familiar with Haunted Mansion because I've written it a million times.
But that one example, does that make all the other ones that follow suit?
Well, that's his method. That's his.
That still doesn't matter. One example does not make all the rest of them the exact same way.
Okay, but if he skips everybody else because everyone's watching the show and watching Rod Steiger, is that his name?
What?
Rod
Sterling.
Sterling, thank you. Everyone's watching
Sterling.
that, and he's already seen this a million times over because he's been to Disney World, and he's just maneuvering his way around. So he gets to skip 30 other people to be the first person to get in the elevator car. He's kind of being an asshole.
Right.
But if I don't know that that's what he's doing, or I don't know there's another line, how do I know that he's being an asshole?
Because when you get out of there, if you were one of the ones, because I've seen it, I've seen people do this in the Haunted Mansion and been like, look at this jerk. Instead of just being in the show and letting this all happen, this dude's like doesn't care about the stretching room. He just cares about being first to get on that ride.
Right. He doesn't care about the journey. He just wants to go to the end. It would be like if he had like.
Well, it's no different than the people residing in lines in the freaking stretching room.
Okay, what if I told you?
No, I would agree with you on that as well.
That's the exact same thing. It's like they're assholes that ruin the experience because they do that kind of stuff. And there's people that do that, but
so you admit those people are assholes, but this guy's fine?
I think he's fine. I think he's fine because of the reason of this.
Okay.
Like, I have no idea what's going on after this said room. You know, if I go out and it's like in lines, if he gets in lines, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like, so if he skips all this other stuff and misses all the things in that pre-show area, there's no reason why I should feel bad. I can't control him.
Okay.
I can't control what he does.
Okay.
He does what he does. I'm enjoying whatever I'm enjoying. Like, why should I be so self-absorbed by what the hell he's doing?
Well, I mean, okay, let's put it
I'm
like
not
that.
saying you should be self-absorbed by what he's
but
doing.
you are letting that affect you. What that guy's doing is affect you, and that's the end of the story.
It's not the end of the story. What the story to me is in that instant, can I forget about him and move on and enjoy my time? Be like,
well, that's your problem then if you can't forget about him.
That's what I'm saying. I can forget about him, but at the same time, can I also say, man, what an asshole?
Yeah. Okay, let's
sure,
say
you could say he's an asshole. But but it doesn't mean he's an asshole.
But let's say
I don't think he's an asshole for this.
Let's say you take your family. You've never been on the ride before.
I'll be go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
and then so you got your kid. Your kid just happens to be in this spot. Now this weird man who was like nowhere near you and your family somehow works his way all around and says,
wait, what spot?
He moved in with the crowd or whatever the cast member said. He goes in, and then while everybody's like, oh, wow, this is neat, your kid is watching the same thing. This man moves in, basically says, excuse me, and then like now your kid is like behind him, where your kid could have had the shot to see.
Wait, so if he says, excuse me, does the kid move out the way?
Yes.
But yeah, he's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's what I'd say. you. I'm standing right here.
Well, now you treat him like an asshole.
There you go. Because the kid doesn't know what he's giving up.
Right. And he knows. This is called insider trading.
Yeah, but
This
there's
was
no,
stock.
no. There's no mention of anybody giving up their space for this guy.
No.
He took advantage of the space that was left over by people that weren't doing whatever.
But he knew. He knew what to do.
But he knew what to do. But that doesn't mean, yes. Okay, so he would be an asshole if he moved my kid out the way.
Yes.
And I would say you're a asshole.
All right.
But if I have to let that space open, like right there next between me and you, and he just stood there.
Okay, now if
that's my fault. Look, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We were all in RTC. And one of the things that one of the guys said is like, it takes one person to stand in 1 foot space to occupy that said space.
Uh-huh.
If I don't occupy said space, then somebody else could take it.
Yeah, but now you're talking, okay, but now we're saying a formation, let's say.
No, it's not formation. It's just like, if I'm standing in my space, I'm standing in this space. I can cover this space only.
If this guy walked in behind me, and then I'm like, okay, this man is behind me, and then the next time I turn around, this guy is now no longer behind me. He's moved to another part where he can enjoy the thing. When I'm like, well, wait a second. Number one, why is he there? Then once the thing unveils itself, then I'm like, oh crap, he did this.
Then I would probably like, I'm gonna do that next time.
All right, but you see what I'm saying?
I would not. I would be like, no, dude.
Man, no.
But you see what I'm saying? You don't know. You don't know where anything is. This guy does, but he is not the first in line.
I wouldn't know any better if I'm getting disadvantaged.
That doesn't make him nice.
But if he's
but it doesn't make him either.
That does make him.
He says
it doesn't make him in my book.
He said he even says we need to start saying bad guy or else the editing job on the
show. Bad guy.
Yes.
Bad guy.
Sorry, bad guy.
No, I did it myself.
It's just catchy.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All I'm trying to say is that if this guy goes ahead and circumvents the line to go ahead and do that, and he's saying that other people in the room are giving him looks as he's doing it, that means that there are people there who are recognizing what he's up to, who could do the exact same thing, but don't.
No, there are people being distracted by what he's doing.
How do you know they're being distracted? How do you know something?
Well, how do you know they're missing out on whatever he's doing?
Because
you can't assume that and not assume that what I'm saying is the exact fact.
No, what I'm saying is that in a typical haunted mansion stretching room, there's going to be a variety of different people. There are going to be people who've done it a million times and know that the red light, and they're going to look at that dude like, dude, come on, really? You doing it?
So the only way you can make that assumption is if you know what's going on next. All right, next.
Okay, then there are going to be people in that room who are like, what the hell's going on? Why is this guy moving along? I mean, we're watching the show. Is there something going on over here? And he's distracting the other people in the room. And then there are going to be the people who are just seeing this all and just are so encapsulated, they don't even notice it.
All right.
So there's a bunch of different people in the room. So you got to imagine at least a couple of the people are people who know where the entrance is, see this guy, knows what he's doing, and looks at this guy like, come on, man.
All right, so I'll give you, so the first set of people, they can call him an asshole because they know what's up. The second set of people, maybe he's an asshole because he's distracted them. But the third set of people, he said, have no better, so it doesn't really matter what the hell the guy's doing, so he's not an asshole.
Well, but just ignorance is bliss, I guess, is your argument here. But it doesn't make, if you get ripped off.
But does it ruin that experience for the third set of people? No, it does not.
Whether it ruins the experience or not, it doesn't matter. Like if you
it still makes them asshole.
If you steal $10 from somebody and they don't notice that they're missing $10, does that mean it was a victimless crime or did you rip off the guy?
Okay, that's cute.
Okay,
that's cute.
It's a victimless crime, but if you don't know you're missing $10, then you have nothing to charge.
But you got ripped off. Maybe you
did get ripped off, but no one's gonna recognize because you're like, if you ask a question, did you have $10? And you're like, I don't know.
Okay.
Then there's nothing you can go on.
But then all of a sudden in the room, someone says, hey, I have $10. And you're like, you realize you're missing $10. You're gonna be like, well, the guy got my $10, so good for him.
No, I'd be like, hey, is that my $10?
There you go.
No, that does not connect.
Okay, wait a second.
That does not connect.
All right, wait a second.
That does not connect.
I had to reread this.
Reread it. Well, tell me something that's going to convince me this guy's an
Number one.
Right, we're going to need to move on.
What?
No, because we need to move on. Because you're not going
fair.
to convince me this guy's an
I wanted to reread it because I just wanted my last two because this was crazy to me. But look, okay.
This is crazy to me.
Wait,
like,
all
really?
right, number one, he says here, I'm a single person. He's
by himself. Yes,
he does say he doesn't push people around. But what he does say is I actually work back here. So he has insider knowledge of how anything he gets into works, which anybody who is not working there wouldn't, right? But
I wouldn't be aware that he's doing
there's
it.
a whole extra, there's a whole extra layer to
I
this.
think you're oversensitive.
Oh, no. Wait.
No,
there's
I'm
a whole
sorry.
extra. No, there's
Look,
a whole.
you're not convincing me that this guy's an asshole. I'm
Look,
sorry.
I'm not gonna
This is not a concrete enough example.
I've been really quiet.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Wait.
I just want this last point. He says he actually works there. So he has insider knowledge. That also means that he must be a cast member in some sense, right? So he's jipping the people, right?
But would I know that if I didn't know he was a cast member?
That's not about what we know.
Okay.
It is about what we know.
I want to ask Kevin a question.
Ask me a question.
Your wife cheats on you. You never find out about it. That's fine then, right?
That's on her conscience. It's not mine. I would never know. How the hell would I get pissed about that if I have no idea what's going on?
That's it.
I'm done.
It's time to walk.
You got it.
It's time to walk. It's 2-1.
I'm walking away.
It's 2-1. That's all.
No, but I don't understand that logic. It's like, if I don't know, how can I be mad at it? If somebody, like, what if you told me, guys, hey, man, I think Val cheated on somebody, then I would know, and then I'll be pissed at it.
Because by your logic, what Val did was okay as long as she didn't get caught.
No, it ain't cheating if nobody know it. I like it.
Jesus, go ahead.
That is, look, you know what?
I still don't think the guy's an
Stop.
That's the end of the story. And you're not going to convince me.
We're not going to convince you.
I'm not going to consider Val a cheater unless I know of it.
2-1.
Does it make it okay? No, I think that's a separate issue.
That's okay. 2-1.
Does it make it okay? No, it doesn't make it okay.
That makes her the bad guy.
Jesse Ventura said it best. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Oh, well then good for him. All right. I don't consider him
2-1. No problem.
But I mean, he's an asshole because it's 2-1, so it's fine. So I'll play this thing.
He's sort of an asshole.
He's sort of
a bad guy.
Sort of a bad guy, but I don't know.
All right.
I wouldn't know the otherwise if it did, you know?
I reread it just to be fair to you, Kevin, because it was such a weird gray area. I wanted to reread it again. But yeah.
It's strange. You know, when we get to the movie, the host stories and stuff, I have one myself.
I think this is
I don't think I was that.
You were the bad guy for sure.
No, I was not the bad guy for sure. I think the that freaking took me out.
You just got personal. You just got personal beef.
No,
that's what happened.
That's what it is. I do have personal beef.
You got PTSD off this story.
I do.
That's what happened.
Because I was like, why is this stupid? I don't want to ruin editing.
All right,
yeah.
Like, why is this person freaking
this bad guy
fussing at me when
this person?
All right. We're not solving this.
Yeah,
we're not. No, not.
It was not your fault though, Kevin. We didn't know this triggered you. We didn't know.
All right, since we're kind of split on this, yes, I know it's 2-1, but we'll just pretend that we're evenly split on this. I'll go ahead and play this little clip.
If you are a bad guy, but this does not mean you're bad guy.
He's bad guy.
It almost kind of maybe that's a better way to say it.
I agree. I said it.
I like that.
I said it before. He's not necessarily a bad guy, but he is being somewhat a bad guy.
I can live with that. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, there's some bad things there, but maybe you're not fully bad.
Exactly.
Okay. You know,
he's not bad. He's just drawn that way.
Oh, we should pull that clip.
He's an anti-hero.
We'll do that.
All right, so there we go, guys. There is the Internet Stories version of Am I the Bad Guy of this particular new series of shows. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. We're curious to know what you think. We're curious to know if you think any of the people are actually bad guys or they're not bad guys. Did we get the judgment wrongs? Am I completely wrong? You know, it's all good.
You are completely wrong.
I am not completely wrong.
You totally
I'm totally not.
You're 70% wrong.
I'll take that. Maybe
100% of the time, you're 70%
but
wrong.
I'm inching towards 50%. I think it's half and half.
All right. Just cut your way in line.
You know what? I'll even give you 2/3 wrong because maybe there's 2/3 of people know what he's doing and 1/3 have no clue. So to 2/3 of the people, like to Danny's example, he's an asshole.
All right.
To the 1/3, they're not an asshole because they don't know any better. I was like, I don't.
When this comes out and you like unveil it on YouTube, I'm specifically looking
do it
for this clip.
I hope it gets like 1,000 listeners.
We are.
do.
But I've said it a million times. You're never going to agree with somebody, but as long as you argue with somebody for like 30 minutes and you're like, Well, you really do believe what you believe, and I really do believe. So you just got to respect.
You gotta
it.
let it go.
You
Yeah,
got to
I know.
respect
Yeah,
it
you gotta
and
let it
move
go.
and walk away.
And Kev
You're
had
like, okay,
but
yeah.
Kev had the
But
PTSD on it. I think if Kevin didn't have the PTSD, it could have went.
But to be fair, I think it was a good lead up. We had
It
two
was,
stories
yes.
before it, and then we ended with a big bang.
Yes.
You know, so I thought this was great.
We
This
didn't
was great. Yes.
even script that. It just happened.
We
All
never
right.
script things. It's
So
awesome.
look, listeners, if y'all have any stories like this and you want to hear our takes on this,
Absolutely.
Oh yes, please.
yes, because I mean, next time I'm bringing a knife to this recording table just in case. It got spirited in here.
A little bit.
You
But
don't.
that's
y'all
what we
don't see
are.
this,
I mean,
but-
we are as New Orleans. We are spirited folks.
Yeah.
The Saints lost to Philly, which I can't fucking stand. I'm
That
sorry.
was wild.
I'm sorry for the editing. I'm sorry for the editing.
yes.
I can't
No.
stand. But like, you know, it's whatever.
My
It's all
internet
good.
went out. My ceiling is leaking. I had a
Technology is not happening for Danny.
Right.
And we got to freaking invest 97L in happening in golf.
yeah.
What the hell?
No, that's coming.
It's coming.
Cats
Oh.
and dogs living together.
But we'll
Necessary.
tough it out together. 'Cause
We
that's
will.
what
We
do.
will.
That's
and we
right.
entertain you guys. But
That's
yeah,
right.
no, Danny's absolutely right. If you got stories
And Rachel's sick.
and
Of all
Rachel's
things,
sick,
Rachel's sick.
yeah.
Yeah, this was
bad.
wild.
This
This
would
was
have been
wild.
great.
I really,
better.
I would love to hear her take on this one. I
Yeah.
really would.
And it's probably going to be the 3 against 1, and that's okay. I can live with that. I could totally live with
I
that.
don't know, man. Rachel could book you that store with the red light.
I know. I hope whoever did this is listening to it so we can talk to that person to see if there's more clarification.
Oh, we'll have him on the show. Totally. If
And
somehow,
if you're rich, donate money.
Yeah, we'll let you be in the front of the line and say you're the best person
I'll let
ever
you go
after that.
wherever. You do
and
whatever you
look,
want.
hey, look, Kevin, we'll make you his BFF.
Yeah,
Like-
and there's rules that comes with it because you got to
Yes.
take care of Kevin. That's a guideline for that travel club. Tell him, buddy.
That's right, man. That's right. All right. So look, yeah, you get in touch with us if you got awesome stories about am I the bad guy? We're curious
Yeah.
to know. You want to talk it out. You can even come on the show. Like I said, this is the podcast where all opinions are welcome, all thoughts are welcome. It's a very welcoming space. No judgment or whatever else. There'll be
Whoa,
judgment.
quite a bit of judgment.
There'll be quite a bit of judgment, but
Lots
you know,
of judgment.
you'll have equal.
But it's playful. Playful judgment.
It's playful, but you'll be hurt.
Yes.
You'll be hurt like a lot of women
It's like
and men
It's like, what do you call it? Like you
and
know,
animals.
those little padded little sticks that you hit each other with in therapy.
Oh gosh, yeah,
like in the Jeffersons.
Like the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Yes. Just working it out.
Yeah, you work out
Gotta
your
work
anger.
it out.
You
the
work it out.
anger
You
and
work it
shit.
out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so it's respectful, but it's yes.
But it's serious.
Absolutely, because every action has a reaction.
Well, that's
of some
artistic
sort.
buff stuff right there for you.
Exactly. That's how we do it. So look, definitely get in touch with us. We hope you enjoy this new series of shows. And if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions, we're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Look, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions about how I am wrong, or if you have any thoughts on any of the stuff that we talked about, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or text us at 1-815-A-WEEKEND. That is 1-815-
Kevin is crazy.
669-4226. But not so, as crazy as some of our friends. Holy crap. But anyway, look, we got a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli. Does awesome things with comics, bias stuff. Eli, what you got going on, sir?
Yes, indeed. I tell you what, if this didn't amp you up, I don't know what else to tell you but this. You got to go on the internet right there and go to www.ironcomics.com where you can see all the work I got out there. I got bad guys on there too. You can check them out on Savages, Project Geisha, and The Molly Be Damned. All work is 48 pages, fully colored. The only ad for them is for this podcast, as it needs to be. Also, on the Ivory Comics website, you can check out blogs and interviews and a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat. You never miss an episode. You never miss who's a bad guy, should have been a bad guy, or was that a good guy? That was wild. So yes.
But in your comic books, there's no question.
There's no question.
None.
You know who the bad guy is. They
That's
show
right.
up. And
they
cut
are
it live.
beautiful.
And they
Yes.
get dealt with.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
do get dealt with.
They look
all
good.
action. All action. All the time.
That's right, Jackson.
Yes, boy.
Bye today.
Yeah. Do that. Appreciate that support. Also, on social media, Facebook.com, Elijah Iris, where you can find me there. As long as you're a real person, you're a good guy to me. But if you're a bot, you are really a bad guy. I tell you what, I met a bad guy. There was no question. They wanted to get in line, take my credit card stuff, try to offer me a home loan when I already got a house. That is terrible.
Oh, hell no.
That is really bad guy.
Hell no.
Bad bot. Bad bot. So, also, on Facebook, you can find the Project Gangster fan page, facebook.com/Project Gangster. Also, Instagram, you can find me right there, posting up the hearts and likes, hearing your story, sharing your glories. EIV504 is where you can find me there. And of course, on X, you can find me at Headcock10166. So, yes, if you appreciate the madness, they just bringing me the glass. And I have been really happy on this episode. So, thank you guys very much.
Hey, look, if you want to book a vacation to experience that particular experience of filling in all available space, you can do so through Rachel. And Rachel will tell you how to do this.
This is Rachel, one of the hosts of the Magic Our Way podcast. I would be honored to help your family book your vacation to Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you. The cost of a travel agent is built into the cost of your vacation, whether you use one or not. And when you book with me, a little bit of your trip comes back to support the podcast and the fan community here at Magic Our Way. You can reach me at Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com, or you can find me at R, the letter R, Family Magic, so Our Family Magic, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give me a call or a text. My phone number is 978-432-WISH. Reach out today and let's make some magic with your family vacation.
So if y'all want to access all the info we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. Also, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/magicourway. And another option to support us, and it only costs a minute or so of your time, is to leave a rating and a review in Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We'll also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And you are. Bye.